down right now because we got a lot of talking, but let's get the game going a little bit faster. A little bit faster now. Now, it is Complexity Stalife versus Evil Genius's Machine. Map number 1 will be Taldarum Altar in this best of 3. Week number 1, division number 4. And this is going to be an awesome match. Now, in the pregame show, we talked a little bit about how Stalife and Machine both carry the same burden, and that is that people looked at them and said, okay, I feel like these guys don't belong, or, you know, what have they been up to lately in the case of Machine more specifically? And it's fun. It's fun to be able to say, let's put them on the big stage and see how they do. And of course, that's the most immediate and shallow answer. The honest answer is anybody that knows anything about these gamers knows they're top North American players.
They're always a force to be reckoned with. Stalife is, as we said in the pre-show, a more timing-based Terran player, as Terran is very good for timings as well. But Machine, he does enjoy his macro style. We're going to see if he's going to be able to play his type of game, or Stalife is going to be able to dictate the tempo of just how Machine plays.
Yeah, and this is a great map for Machine to open up with. He loves the big macro play, and if there is a map where a big macro map's going to happen, or macro game, excuse me, it's going to be Taldarum Altar. Machine is a part of the Team Evil Genius organization, which is, of course, the team that I represent, so a lot of people have their notepad ready to write down my quotation in evidence that I'm strongly in bias of Machine, but honestly, I am. I love the guy. And actually, if you've ever met Machine, you would be too. There's such awesome stories, like he's brought cookies to LANs to give to people, to share, because he's that nice.
That's so cute.
There was a string of like 3 LANs in Brood War that I went to where he brought me a gift, including a mouse bungee, just because he likes me and he wants to show his affection that way. So if you're not a Machine fan just yet, and you like puppies, you should be a fan now, because he is much like a puppy, just adorable and loving. Sometimes he pees on the carpet, though.
Yeah, I actually had... Whoa.
Yeah, the last part snuck in there. I'm glad you almost plowed over it, though.
Wait. Okay. I actually had the pleasure of seeing both of these players at MLG Dallas. Stalife is really excited for North American Star League. He said he prepared quite a bit against Machine.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know if he has anything prepared or he's going to be playing straight up, but I think he's sort of preparing in that he knows Machine's style and he's going to abuse that quite a bit. I'm really interested to see how he goes about his style in playing against Machine.
Yeah, that's one of the problems Machine does have. I mean, there's no way to shy around it. People talk about how he's predictable. He is a macro Zerg to the umpteenth degree. If he can make drones, he will. And a lot of people are able to say, okay, I know I'm safe in the beginning, or I know he's exposed in the beginning. And both those tendencies / tidbits of information are beneficial to the person holding that information. Now, as we see, a factory does go down for the Terran player, usually indicative of some kind of, I don't know, it could be a Hellion drop, it could be Cloaked Banshee is a very strong opening, TVZ as well. Greetorp, as a Terran player, what do you think it's going to be?
I'm not too sure just yet.
Reactor
It is
down.
A very big map, so Reactor is going down. We're probably going to see mass Hellions coming out.
Hellion expand type of thing?
Yeah, Hellion expand. Although he is still mining gas, so I'm not sure what he's going to be doing with this. He might be keeping up the aggression early in the game. Again, he wants to try to end it because he doesn't want it to go to Machine's comfort level. Going ahead and getting commands as well. So
we're just going to eat our words right now.
Yeah, I know.
Nom, our words.
It's going to be a Hellion expand for sure now. But I'm kind of interested to see why he's massing so much gas right now. There's no real reason to get it. He could have gotten this command center a little bit sooner. But he's looking pretty nice. He still has a lot of agency to go a lot of different builds.
Indeed. What's up?
What's up with you?
Fun of you.
Yeah, making fun of me.
Machine throwing down the Spine Crawler, though, very, very good choice here. The Hellions, especially with that red flame, are not very effective when getting tickled by a Spine Crawler. Now, of course, the next question is Machine going to be able to thwart their advances into his main or behind the main mineral line? Because if you notice, the natural area is very spacious, to a certain extent. There's obviously other maps where it's a lot more spacious. So there we go. A second Spine Crawler will be placed down, and Machine has got to anticipate that gameplay. Now, here comes a couple of Hellions. They just got done frying a Zergling for barbecue, and Machine is aware. Some Lings are spawning. Queen going ahead and giving them a little bit of a tickle in the ribs, and hoping just to soften them up so the Spine Crawler can clean it up.
Yeah, and also he has these Zerglings over here to zone out any units, now pushing up his Spine Crawler to get just a little bit more room for his his base. He doesn't want the Hellions to be too close in, as they could probably run around to the left-hand side if you really want to go all in with that. Now just going to have 4 Hellions out. Now it's a little wasted. He can't really do anything with these 4 Hellions. It's giving him map control, don't get me wrong, but he can't really do any pressure. So I'm not sure if he needed to go up to 4 Hellions, but we do see his command center is going down right now, lifting it up, and going to be expanding. So in tandem with Machine's expansion, although it is slightly later, he's going to be risking a little bit of income because of that.
Now, I like what Machine's doing. Simultaneously, he's building a Roach Warren and a Baneling Nest. I got to see a lot of this kind of play. I got to believe that is going to be the tech choice. I don't think you go Spire from here, at least not immediately. I saw a lot of this from Root Slush at MLG Dallas, actually, and he took a lot of Terrans by surprise. You can get a lot of Roaches, and those Banelings with their area of effect damage do so much damage. Now, hang on here. Hellions trying to toast a Creep Tumor. They don't get it, and they do not, and the Queen is making her way out there. She's got to be careful. She's actually drawing fire to that Tumor. And, yep, I had to do that impression. That's Arnold Schwarzenegger, ladies and gentlemen. Spinecrawler did go ahead and thwart those Hellions, but again, just doing a really good job keeping map control, making sure that the Xel'Naga towers are under his control and the Zerg players in the dark. And that actually does so much damage. That's got to be mentioned. Right now, Machine, if you check his vision, actually has no idea that there's even an expansion. He actually has no idea. So what that means is that he has to simultaneously plan for a timing, attack, and macro play. He's just got to either make an assumption or predict all of them.
This is what I'm talking about. If you look back at Stalife space, he has 4 barracks up, 3 of which are reactors, which totals a theoretical 7 barrack production. And he has, of course, still Hellions popping out. So this is what I'm talking about. He's gearing up for this timing. He's not getting the 3rd and 4th gas. Doesn't look like he's getting an engineering bay anytime as of late. And he's not going Starport Tech. So I think he's gearing up for this timing to really punish the Zerg before they get Baneling speed up.
Theoretically, I mean, the Baneling Nest is complete. The Baneling speed upgrade is about 1/4 of the way there, and here goes that bio. It's going to push out, but I feel like if Machine goes Muta, this is an awesome push. If Machine goes Roach Baneling,
that's really tough.
At least on paper, I think Stalife has had more success hitting his head against a brick wall.
He is going a Spire as we speak, and now Banelings have been morphed. Baneling speed is about halfway done, so if Stalife can hit this crucial timing, he's going to be looking really good. Hellions are going to come in front. The Roaches are trying to get in there.
He's waiting for that Baneling speed timing, and he's going to push anyways. But the Marines are stuck on the ramp, and they do detonate on all the bio, and the Hellions absorb a lot of damage too. Now, Machine is pulled back, but those Roaches are extremely durable, at least for the time being, and it looks like Stalife
has
had his life stalled with this push.
His life stalled. I like that.
Good.
I like that.
Pretty good.
And he's just going to clean up Machine. Really nice defense. And Stalife, because he lost that huge army, he's going to be kind of behind right now. He doesn't really have the tech to be able to transition out of this mass marine biotech. He got his 3rd and 4th gas pretty late, so he can't get those upgrades up just yet. And Machine, because of that, is going to take complete map control. Has Baneling speed up, so he's doing mass circling Baneling
and 9 Mutas
and Roaches, and he's getting Mutas. That's very scary. Mutas are going to be really strong on this map.
I mean, yeah, it's a huge map. We talked about that Phoenix play being able to kind of move around the map, and even Cats on this map. We actually said how good and strong Mutas are, so we'll actually get to see that showcased here. Now, but Stalife, like you said, doesn't want to go into the late game, and sure enough, a second factory is being added. No command center, just upgrades. A couple of drops being loaded up here, but guess what? Drops don't do so hot against Mutalisk as long as they're being detected, so it's going to be interesting to see. And oh my gosh, that medevac's going right down the middle of the map. How bold, sir. How very bold.
Yeah. I don't know what he was thinking there. And the Zergling over here, I don't think Machine actually...
There's no army here.
Going to be pushing in here.
Stalife.
The bunker is in the way, but there are a lot of Mutalisks finally going to be able to clear out. And yeah, the only army was in his 2 medevacs. Now SCV is going to be pulled offline, but still, these Mutas are just doing way too much damage. I don't see any way for Machine for Stalife to get back into this game. I mean, he's losing every single one of his SCVs, and on top of that, he has no standing army.
Machine's actually banking money right now. Stalife did a good job of spending his money, which is at this point a bit of a burden. And actually, that drop is getting rampaged angrily at the top of the map. And meanwhile, his Mulas are going uninhibited, inside Stalife space. He's trying to produce things, but they're dying as fast as they're getting produced.
Yep.
Because that ball of Mutas is just doing too good of a job with their glaive worm attack. And there go the Marines, and we're just kind of waiting on Stalife to realize he's actually dead. And there it is, the GG, and Stalife falls 0-1 to EG Machine. Complexity Stalife, excuse me.
Yeah, Machine able to hold off that timing attack that Stalife did. I don't know if he knew about that, but his play was very robust. I really like how fast he got that Baneling speed and just got those preemptive Banelings. A lot of players don't do that. To get those Banelings early just for defense is so important because you're on creep. There's no reason why you shouldn't. You outrun Marines, you outrun a lot of different units. So to get those Banelings up, especially against something like an SCV Marine all-in, we didn't see that, but we did see this timing push that was very strong. If he just went straight to Mutas, I think he would be in a lot of trouble. But rightfully so, Machine went the Banelings, was able to destroy that attack very easily, and then off that counterattacking for the win.
Yeah, Machine does a fantastic job of taking notes on his opponents. That's something else worth mentioning about Machine. He does not play a series against a guy in a previous tournament and just forgets about it. He actually remembers every time. So I actually get to train with Machine. I have that good fortune all the time. And one of the things I notice about him is we're always like, hey, are you ready for Stalife? Or are you ready for so-and-so? And he'll always say, yeah, I've played him a bunch. I've analyzed the replays. I know exactly what he's going to do. And the reason I bring this up is because if you look at that game, either Machine was hacking or he knows stuff, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's obviously a joke for those of you that don't get sarcasm, but Machine wasn't hacking. There's a sarcasm.
I mean,
okay, anyways, the more important point, he read the Terran like a book. The Baneling Roach opener with the delayed Spire is very much so not what Machine wants to do. He wants the Spire immediately, then the Baneling Nest. But against Stalife, he knew, okay, Stalife loves those timings, as Greetorp said, so he went with the Baneling Roach kind of opening. Absorb that attack. Just to defend. Yes.
That's what's the weird thing. Because against, let's say, a regular Terran that's not doing that timing, let's say just getting the third, that's a really inefficient build. You're getting your Mutas out very late. You're not going to be attacking anytime soon. You're not getting your third soon. So you're investing in all these units. But with that valuable information, Machine played perfectly in that match.
Another interesting thing here, and before we move into this next game, is Stalife unfortunately made the mistake of doing something that I've seen a lot of Terran players do, which is like, okay, I've fallen on my back foot, let's load my whole army up into dropships. And it's a gamble. I mean, of course this game has a certain luck factor, and it has a bit of a predictive nature to it. So if Machine doesn't attack there, Stalife might look like a genius. If he does attack there, Stalife looks silly. So unfortunately we're talking about how silly Stalife looked, but it's a problem. The Terran player had no defense at home. Machine walked right into the main and the natural, nearly uncontended. And meanwhile, the drop that went right down the middle of the map was, it was obliterated before a Marine even touched down. And the other one didn't have much better of a fate. So Stalife needs to look at this game and say, all right, I was red. I need to go ahead and come up with a better plan for game number 2. And hopefully he has that. Metalopolis is the map, and I can't wait to get there.
All right, everybody, we're going to be moving directly into game number 2. This is Division 4, week number 1. We have Stalife against Machine going at it on Metalopolis. Machine is up 1-0 in a very nice match. How do you feel for your teammate right now, Jeff?
It's good to be up 1-0. You got to feel comfortable knowing that any strategy you do at this point in time is the right one for the most part, because if you lose this game by taking a risk, fine. If you make a mistake and lose this game, okay, you can recover. Or if you play solid and win, congrats, you're just 2-0 to a fantastic player in Complexity Stalife. So it's got to be a great place to be. But looking at the layout of how these players respond, interesting. Today is going to be the close positions day on Metalopolis. We do have the green Terran from Complexity Stalife dropping at the 12 o'clock position, and then in the mid-left position, 8 o'clock, we have the pink Zerg, Evil Genius's Machine. Now, we did see Cats overcome this with brilliant play. It was no gimmick. There was no cheese. It was just him being a smart, excellent player and executing on that. It'll be interesting to see if Machine is able to follow suit. Now, Machine, aptly named, famous for his mechanics, perhaps criticized for his lack of creative play, to put it subtly.
Yeah.
So That's not necessarily a hindrance here. You don't have to be creative, but what you do have to do is think really fast on your feet. Because if Stalife opens up, well, there's no if there. I mean, whatever Stalife opens up will catch the Zerg player in a tough spot, for the most part. I mean, if you fast expand, if you do any kind of aggression, or if you do Hellions, etc., it's really tough for the Zerg to handle here.
I completely agree. And again, walling off for Stalife. Stalife's still going to be able to pressure up if he wants to do some sort of bunker pressure. As well, he's getting a refinery. So he can be doing some sort of very early pressure. And Machine cross-scouting with the drone.
Guys,
I don't think he knows that it's...
The poor guy. He's training so hard for MLG. And when you train really hard for a tournament, it's very easy to fall in under the, well, okay, all maps are like that. It's not. If you play the ladder or if you play other tournaments, the Metalopolis has close positions. So unfortunately for Machine, actually he knows now. His Overlord scouted 6 o'clock and his drone scout simultaneously 3 o'clock. And he's going, right now Machine's face is a little bit red, but it's okay, he can recover. If you look at Stalife's opening, he is mining gas, he has walled in, so actually Machine wouldn't have seen anything anyways.
Yeah, and we can see one Marine is out, the drone is going to be able to get up here. Not going to be able to see anything, but the Marine is going back a little bit. There is no additional SCV coming. And it does look like that drone is going down.
Marines are pretty good, man.
Pretty good indeed.
The run and gun.
Factory going down for Stalife.
Yep.
So he's going to be keeping up the pressure again, getting that gas up. Now, I do like getting the gas in this position, as you want to get that tiered units to be able to kind of tech switch the Zerg in this early game stage. It's really good that you tech switch. It forces different unit compositions, which disallows them to get a huge ton of drones.
Well, Marines swinging in here, they got to be careful. So Machine doing the right choice, just pulling out. Doesn't need to fight here. Okay, he's going to go ahead and engage anyways. One Marine does go down, and only a drone dies. So
yeah, nice exchange.
Two Marines for one drone. Pretty good exchange for Zerg, I would say.
Yeah, we can see he isn't going a Roach Warren like we saw last time. Just getting that. Oh, actually, as I say, Roach Warren going down for Machine.
And that's a really good choice. We have a Starport going down for the Terran player as well as a Hellion. And he has lost both those Marines and an SCV, and now just sitting on 3 or 4 Marines. So we could see a repeat of the Root Cats ESC Goody game. And let's go ahead and check the vision of Machine. What did he see? He did see the factory, but he did not see the Starport. So that is worth noting. But the factory is a big tell. That at least lets you know there's the possibility of Banshee, right?
Yes, absolutely. And he's going to get these roaches out pretty soon. As soon as the Roach Warren finishes, just relying on his Queen and a couple of, well, just one Zergling out in the field, but 4 roaches are coming out immediately.
Ooh, a medevac,
fifth
actually.
one now. And I'm not sure. I mean, the roaches are still going to be able to pressure up on the Terran player, so if Stalife doesn't get a bunker up, he might be a little bit prone to this early harass.
Yeah, but medevac Marines are pretty good, dude. Here's the nice thing about this. I think actually Machine's opening up defensive Roach. We see drones coming out as we speak. No upgrades going down. So no metabolic
pressuring up, man. Looks like he's pressuring. 2 Hellions, 3 Hellions, excuse me, coming around. Going to try to just gain a little bit of map control, but the push distances are very fast. They're going to just swing by, high-fiving from far. And these 3 Hellions, do keep in mind, they one-shot drones.
Okay, a couple things happening here at the same time. Drones going down, and 3 drones are down, but Roaches are also at the ramp. Machine has to be careful. 1 Roach does go down. He's just hacking away at that depot. And a second Roach goes down, so it's now only 3 Roaches against those medevac Marines, and they cannot take that kind of damage. Meanwhile, these Hellions ran amok in the drone line. If you look at the income tab, Machine has fallen to 20 drones versus the 26 Harvesters of the Terran player, and he's got to feel good about himself, he being Stalife, thwarting that attack and damaging the mineral line of the Zerg player.
Indeed, Banshee and Cloak is coming out as we speak. Command center being put down. Now, this is really nice. I mean, the Roaches do eat up a ton. Ooh, a little bit of drop, excuse me. But the Roaches do eat up a ton of gas, so the lair is very late because of that. Going to be able to parry this attack. However, I don't think that he's going to be ready for this Cloak Banshee play. As soon as Cloak comes out and Machine has no response to it, I think he's going to fall behind quite a bit.
Yeah, he'll be in trouble. I mean, if you look here, he's actually just now starting his lair. So the lair will complete.
Yeah.
I mean, he should be able to survive, I think. But just looking at kind of the landscape of this map, this little harass that these Marines and this medevac is doing, a lot of distracting work. We also have a command center and additional barracks going down for Stalife, so he's chugging along uninhibited economically. Meanwhile, Machine is struggling to keep pace with these Marines that are running amok in his base.
Yeah, and one-on-one goes on with this Queen.
Well,
the Queen is going to go down. Queens do not win one-on-one.
There's that Banshee. And actually, the Banshee's in low health.
But the Cloak is just about to be finished.
He's got to be careful.
It's about to be finished now. And Cloak is
There's
up
the
now.
Cloak.
So he's gonna run amok as there are no evolution chambers up. He's just now put one in. The second Queen is going to fall to this one Banshee, and this Banshee is going to go unopposed all over Machine's base.
Yeah, it's actually racking up the kills of 3 now. Now focusing on the drones. For a minute there, it was shooting the Spine Crawler, which I think was a bit of a miscue. Machine might go for the counterattack, and I really like this. Actually, Stalife only has 5 Marines in total. Okay, 6 Marines in total and a bunker at his base. Okay, well, the medevac's pulling back. He should be okay now. Meanwhile, 2 Banshees now tearing up the mineral line of Machine. 9 kills for one and 6 for the other, but they are escalating in their death toll. Meanwhile, Machine tries that counter. Bunker does go down. He might have the drop on the Terran player for the time being, but a Banshee's moving in, and it's just moments away from cleaning up all of that. So one Banshee does go down inside of Machine's mineral line, but he has been decimated. He actually is down to 20 Harvesters again.
And defensive Banshee is going to be able to clean up all these roaches. However, it does take a little bit of time. Stalife doing a nice job at re-walling off with this lone supply depot, but there is not enough roaches in here to be able to do ample damage to get back in this. If we can see in the income tab, 24 drones to 34 SCVs, and now Stalife is going to take the additional expansion. So Machine quite behind in this game. Not only is he behind in the Harvesters, don't forget the Mules as well. And in terms of tech, we already see Raven coming out and a lot of barracks being thrown down for Stalife.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I think the window of opportunity for Machine would have been to just slam in as many units as he possibly could once he burst down that ramp. Perhaps speedlings or something. But it's going to be really hard for him to recover from here. If he is going to recover, I like what he's doing. We do have centrifugal hooks going down for those banelings, so he will have speed banelings, and in close proximity like they are, it doesn't take a whole lot for those banelings to disrupt the production of the Terran player, or at least decimate their army, and open, I just said that really weird, open yet another window of opportunity for the Zerg player to cram a bunch of units into that Terran base.
It does look like Stalife is pushing out here. I'm not sure if Machine is ready for this whatsoever. He only has 1 Spine Crawler, 16 Zerglings are out of the way, and 10 morphing into banelings as we speak. However, the Banshees are unopposed right now. There isn't really mobile. Ooh, actually engages in some of the Banshees. It does look like one might go down. Yes, it will before the Queen goes down. And now the Zerglings are going to come into play, but just going to pick up very easily.
Yeah, and the
Banshee
Machine only has 1 Queen
damage
now. And that Banshee has full health, so it should be able to take that Queen out. But actually the Queen doing some one-way damage right now. Marines stimming in, trying to get the Queen. And they do, and then they pick up. That is brutal. Really nice micro by Stalife. And now Machine's going to go for the counter. And all over here for Stalife.
He's not ready for this.
No, I don't
Auto
think so.
turret might go down. No, it's not going to go down. Stim goes up, though. And these Zerglings are really forced into this small position. Banelings might get really nice hits.
Oh, wow.
And 2 live. Now, 2, all you need is 2 right now. But they're going to be sniped out. Not going to be able to kill anything. And these 2 Zerglings are the only things left. But Machine actually
producing 10 Zerglings right now. He's got 2 banelings, but there's some Marines in his mineral line as we speak. All right, he does have some lings. They should be able to hold this off, and they do. Machine's got to capitalize right now. 3 bunkers are going down.
And a command center as well.
Another
Stalife.
That's pretty
greedy.
I
think he feels really confident. I don't know. I highly doubt he turns that into a planetary fortress. He just used that defensively. So he might be looking to expand yet again as he keeps this pressure up very nicely.
Yeah, Stalife playing very interesting. I don't think he he should feel fairly comfortably ahead, so throwing down his command center is kind of a weird choice for me at this time. I'm cool with him expanding, but doing it right now seems like a bit of a dice roll. Machine is muscling up right now. A lot of banelings being constructed, as well as Zerglings. He is mixing in drones, though, and Aspire, so it looks like he's not committing to some kind of all-in. Banshee again, harassing in the middle of the map, and Marines moving over, but there's a big Keurig style. Okay, well, never mind. It's not going to be any kind of counter. It does pull back, but Stalife has to be careful. This is his whole army.
We can see the Raven. Oh, all the Zerglings are going to be able to wrap around. And,
they're trying to play keep away. The Banelings go off on some of the Marines. Do they get the rest? And they do connect with a couple more.
Man.
But that's going to be it. And
actually,
Machine.
Stalife got Hunter's Seeker Missile,
Ooh.
but was not able to engage with that because the Banelings were just too fast.
He launched a Hunter's Seeker Missile?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, wow. Interesting choice. Auto Turret does go down ahead of the crowd. A couple of Banshees again trying to do all the damage they can, but there's now 3 Queens here. They're actually going to clean up these Banshees pretty well, but now there's Marines standing, no Lings in the way. Machine might just be getting thinned out. He is producing 8 Zerglings now, but I don't even know if that's enough to stop these Marines, and the Marines are now in the mineral line of the natural. GG should be incoming from Machine. He just got thinned out.
Yeah, I can't see him coming back from this. Lost all of his drones in his main. Now Zergling's trying to pop out, and a GG coming out from Machine immediately. Stalife going to take that game and even up the score 1-1.
And we're going to go to Crevasse, but before we do, I mean, let's talk a little bit about that game. Excellent play by Stalife in the sense that he harassed with the Hellions, which I thought was really strong. At the same time, I liked the Marine medevac drop. That was, I think, what ESC Goody was missing, because what the medevac allowed them to do was hold off those roaches. We saw him focusing down roaches, but with that medevac also withstanding their damage to high effect. But then following up with the Cloaked Banshees and not giving up on the Cloaked Banshees. They were part of that army composition throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, the biggest thing I like about Stalife's play was his constant aggression. Now, if you keep the constant aggression, keep engaging. Let's say I kill all your Zerglings. You really want to get your Zergling numbers up, get your Banelings out. But if we keep engaging, you have to reproduce that. Those are all drones. And generally, Zerg wants to produce all their army a bit later, get a macro hatchery, get all their larvae to commit to attacking units after you got your drones.
Yeah.
The Machine was never able to get that stability, and because of that, Stalife was able to get so many SCVs, as SCVs are independent than the attacking units, and he eventually got the econ lead and was able to actually get another command center on top of it. A little greedy, as you said before, but Stalife, I think, played that very nicely.
Yeah, it's definitely the blessing and the curse of the larva. It is where everything is produced, so you can produce more from there if you like, but at the same time, if you're having your production controlled by the Terran player, it can get dicey, and that's unfortunately what we saw with Machine. Now, Machine did a great job opening up the game for himself with a couple of pretty bold decisions. That Roach counter while the Banshee's doing so much damage, but also the kind of Ling Baneling dancing in the middle of the map. He was just a couple of Banelings away from really cracking open that Terran defense. Unfortunately, he couldn't get there, but that means it's 1-1 in this best of 3, which means we have one more game on Crevasse, and the winner of this wins the best of 3. Let's go there now. Alright, we've started the countdown. It is game number 3 in this best of 3 between Evil Genius's Machine and Complexity Stalife. Winner of this match, or this game, excuse me, takes the best of 3. And this week number 1, division number 4 matchup between these two players. The map is Crevasse, and we do have the Zerg player morphing in the top left-hand corner in the pink trunks, as Total Biscuit would say. And in the lower right-hand corner, we do have the green Terran Complexity Stalife. As a Terran player, Greetorp, how did you like Stalife's gameplay last game? Was that something you did?
I did like it. I did like it quite a bit. That's how you would play a close position map. However, we are not going to have close position whatsoever on this. We are actually the farthest positions away from each other, which is going to be incredibly hard for him to do that same build. I think if I was Stalife in this position, I would go ahead and say, Machine, you've been playing Standard for the last 2 games, and historically you've always been playing Standard. I'm going to take my 14 command center and just macro up a ton, get that little advantage on you.
I got to believe both players are a little bit alarmed to see this map. It is the version that has double gas at both naturals, so 6 gas available to the Zerg. Now, of course, there is another tale to be told. That is 6 gas for the Terran as well. Not quite as important because Banelings and Mutilis are such key components of the Zerg composition in this matchup typically, whereas for the Terran, they can get away with a lot of Marines and some tanks, which of course does require gas, but not nearly to the same degree. I think the Terran actually benefits from less gas being available to their race versus the Zerg, as opposed to the Zerg. So we'll see how that pans out, but if you look at this map layout, you can see it's very twisty-turny. A lot of expansions. There's a lot of blue mineral spots on this map, so the Terran player's going to have to do a darn good job making sure that if this game goes to the midpoint or later, he needs to keep tabs of where that Zerg is at, because a Zerg can be on 3 base on this map or 6, and it will look almost the same.
Yeah, and also I do want to mention the cluster of expansions. It's very easy to take your third, however, it does spread you out quite a bit. So in terms of ground distance, it's easy to get there, but in terms of taking control of all this position, we can see this entire perimeter is very, very large.
Yeah.
So something like Mutalisks would be extremely strong if he went to diverge in that individual way, if he got his fast third. We're going to see how Stalife plays this, as I think he wants, like last game, he was able to dictate control of the game. That's where he's at his element. That's where he really likes to be.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. I mean, the burst expansion thing is very, very important to note. If you look, it is just 4 mains, and then there's these high-yield mineral-only expansions in the middle of the map as, I guess you could call them fourths or third expansions. So that makes out the expansion layout. It's very important to make sure you're kind of keeping on tabs of that. And speaking of keeping on tab, these Xel'Naga towers, again, extremely relevant. We do have 4 of them in the middle of the map. But I'm going to break away from map analysis real quick and talk about the layout of the game again. We do have gas being mined and a factory being constructed for the Terran player. Very much so what he's done the last 2 games, actually. And conversely, we have Machine doing very much so what he's done the last 2 games, with taking that late gas and the hatch first. So he's very, very mineral heavy and very, very macro intensive in the beginning portions of the game, and then sliding into the tech choices.
Do keep in mind that it is 10 times easier to get this expansion up for Machine, as it's so easy to defend. We can see the main actually defends the natural, so he doesn't have to worry about any early game pressure, along with it, the positions being so far away. On top of that, we can see Stalife is going a starport tech, so he really favors this early game pressure, going to be getting out Hellions as much as possible. And I think he's looking to be set up to deal with this pressure coming in from Machine.
Yeah, and this is going to come down to how refined Machine's opening is, because everything Complexity Stalife is doing right now, I mean, other than barbecuing Zerglings right now, Machine's got to get the heck out of there, is pretty standard. A Banshee opening in TVZ is very much so something that's been done before. I'm going to actually hold off on that thought, because it's actually the exact same opening we saw last game. Medevac is being produced right now, as well as Hellions, and I presume the Medevac will be for these Marines. He loves that kind of Marine Medevac harass play while his Hellions torch up the front end of the natural. So Machine has seen this before. We do have a Roach Warren going down, and Metabolic Speed upgrade has been initiated. So he will have the tools in place to handle it. It's going to be coming down to execution.
Agreed. And we can see also that it only takes 1 creep tumor to connect both these bases. And we can see there's only a small, little, tiny bit of place where there's no creep. So in terms of defending against drops, it's going to be easy to traverse his map. But I don't know if I agree completely with Stalife. I don't really like this aggression, as not only is it far away, but it's so easy to defend as a Zerg player, in my opinion, on this map.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this, because this is a different version of Crevasse than I think what's been updated a little bit, so breaking away from the common mold here just a sec. These Roaches are pretty staunch on that ramp. They're going to move forward. I guess they were getting ranged out by those Hellions, so a little bit of a micro war going on here, but they don't take... I would say Roaches are actually at home in the flames of a Hellion. They're like
Marines are going to be able to drop and going to force a lot of these drones back. I don't know if Machine doesn't actually look ready for this whatsoever. Getting 3 Roaches out in the field, going to go to the unit counting station, 2 Zerglings and 3 Roaches out. So definitely not ready. The Overlords are going to die. Now this Queen engages, and I don't think that's a good idea for this Queen. Needs to back up. Keep in mind there is no stim for these Marines just yet, but losing so many Overlords in this engagement.
Yeah, and actually Stalife is very slow to pick it up. He tries to get the Queen, and I think he will. Oh, it's down to 1 health! And she's evading. Does she survive? How the hell are you still alive, Queen? This is ridiculous. I hope people saw, I mean, no, okay, the game did not depend on that Queen's life and death. I did get a little overexcited, but it was awesome. Machine pulling back the Queen to preserve her life, the other Queens moving in to converge on the Medevac, and Stalife deciding, you know what? I don't give a crap. I'm going to kill that Queen. Now, a Banshee has made its way to the back of this Zerg base, and it does not have Cloak, so it's just going to go ahead and try to pick off as many drones as it can. Taking damage is totally fine, because it'll just go home and repair.
Yeah, that harass was pretty strong. I do like that Machine was so unprepared. I don't think he actually expected any sort of harass, and that's some of the hard part of this map. The Hellions just gained such good control, and even if you go metabolic boosted Zerglings in the beginning stage, it's still hard to have complete map control and to kill those Hellions, to deny map control. 2 Banshees are over here. They're going to be able to pressure up on this natural. And again, the more pressure you can do, the better as it is. Evolution Chamber is now forced. These Spore Crawlers are forced. It's just weakening the economy of Machine and getting him out of his element completely.
Yeah, and that Queen could have got ran down, actually. It's going to take a transfusion from her helpful friend. 3 Queens making their way over here. But again, these Banshees actually don't really care about taking damage. They're not here to survive. They're here to go ahead and kill as many drones as they can, back away before they die, and then get repaired, only to rinse and repeat the process. So Machine needs to get hip to what's going on here, because right now he's just getting the raw end of the deal.
Yeah, but how funny is this? He's still in a Harvester lead. Small, 42 to 41 drones.
Loves drones.
He loves some drones. He loves him some drones, sir.
Yes. And he does have the Spire completed. We do have Mutas popping out just now. Baneling Nest is complete as well, but he's actually going to focus on Mutas first. I think that's actually a good choice. We do only have now a small contingency of Marines and a medevac making its way across the map, so Machine does have to be wary. Any kind of timing with those Marines and Banshees in unison will be able to overrun Machine if he does not have Banshees to support him. So Banshees do return to that mineral line of the natural again, picking off drones, and again, just ignoring the Queen. They don't really care. Just want to do some damage. But now they might have asked for more than they can do, and here we go.
Intercepted.
Did the Mutas run it down? I think they do. Yes.
Yeah, they have to. They're much slower than Mutas. So Machine able to defend against that attack, but still, I think he's a little bit behind. He needs to make some work, some guerrilla warfare with these Mutas to be able to get back into this, as he suffered a lot of economy from that harass. And Stalife, he is kind of posturing with these Marines and the medevacs. I think he just wants to deny map control. He needs to be able to take out these Xel'Naga towers, the Zerglings on the Xel'Naga towers, rather.
Well, Machine doing a nice job. He's not taking his third. He does have a good representation of Lings, which can then transform into Banelings. Very strong against the bioplay. We do see the composition of Stalife is very tank Marine heavy. That's actually a horrendous amount of Marines. That's a lot of Marines. Now, 1 missile turret defending this natural. Machine might contend for it. And here he goes. He's going to take some shots. 1 Mulus does go down. The medevac, or excuse me, the missile turret does die, but Machine got to be careful. Taking a lot of damage from the Marines. No, the Marines target fired. Oh my gosh, they shot the depot. So I was anticipating a lot of Mulus body parts raining on the earth, but Stalife decided that depot was actually one of the most ugly things he's ever seen, because he went ahead and killed it, doing Machine a big favor. So nice Mulus harass. Getting the Marines confused for a moment.
Yeah, and Stalife is just massing off of 2 base, though, and this is the common theme of him.
Yeah.
He's gearing up for this timing push. He's not looking to take an extra expansion. And now, Machine's going to get in here, seize the 2 factories. This should be a little bit of a cue to him to say, hey,
he wants it.
I have to be careful for this pressure. But we're going to see Infestation Pit is going down for Machine. Where are you, Infestation Pit? You're right there. I don't know if this is going to be in time, though. He does have a couple of Zerglings and Banelings out here on the field. I would like burrowed Banelings to be scattered across the map. That's a really strong way to delay a Terran, forcing either the Raven or forcing to save up a ton of scans. Either way, it's gonna stop the Terran from progressing on too fast.
Yeah. Yep, and just 1 weapons attack going down, or completing for the Marines, rather. We do have +1 melee about to complete, and +1 armor about a quarter of the way going for the Zerg player, as well as his air attack actually just about to complete. So Machine sticking on the Ling, Baneling, Mutalisk composition, and he's going to need it. Actually, Stalife is moving out. We do have 6, 7 tanks, a whole bunch of Marines, and 3 medevacs moving out. It's going to come down to the Banelings. If you can connect those Banelings on those Marines, and then just leave the tanks and whatever survives to your Mutalist, that should be a winning strategy. Big stem from the Marines, and they only have 3 medevacs, so you have to be careful about that. And this poor Overseer, your days of looking at things are over. Machine kind of swerving around here. He's got to be careful.
Yep. Now, Machine, he can't really go and harass the Terran force. We can see he's just trying to pick off a couple of units here. He's trying to get the tanks and the medevacs if possible. You can see Baneling's Zerglings are
no,
moving
what's
out
Machine
here.
doing?
Oh, catching the tanks a little bit out of position, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Actually, makes the tanks misfire on one of their own, and that's going to take out one of the tanks. But still, there is a ton of units here. Stalife moving unopposed into this position, and he's going to be able to shell out a lot of damage. Not a lot of Banelings are coming in here, and he's just able to tank everything.
Oh! But that's not enough. That's not enough. There's still a lot of Marines there. And Machine got over-eager, just kind of A-moved at that army. He did connect with the big Baneling, but my goodness, it's still a lot of Marines, and the Mutalisks just don't have what it takes to kill that many Marines.
Yeah, he just did not have enough Banelings, and now going to be shoving in here. Oh, all these Banelings aren't morphed just yet. He might get some huge Baneling hits, but I don't think he has the mutas to correspond with this huge army. Yeah, he only has 2 mutas out on the field. Not looking good for Machine whatsoever. Down to 46 drones.
GG.
And GG. Machine is going to concede. Stalife takes the match 2-1. And I think that third match was pretty decisive, to be completely honest.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he just walked across the map. He wasn't even... I mean, he might have thrown down a command center at the end, but it was definitely a timing attack. And poor Machine, I liked a lot of the ideas. Harrying the back of that Terran convoy, making sure that any kind of free medevacs, tanks, or Marines were picked off. Resupplying was not going to happen. That was really good. But his big mistake was his lack of Baneling numbers and then engaging at the wrong times. You don't want to move towards siege tanks. I don't recommend it. If you want your life to continue, you don't move towards things that go kablooey. And that is indeed what Machine did. So that third base ended up being problematic for him because it was kind of a point of conflict, and he rushed in the interest of it, only to lose the game. So congrats to Stalife, though, because you know what? Say what you want about Machine's shortcomings there. Stalife forced issue, excellent Banshee use, tremendous harass, and completing it.
Especially on a big map like that, Stalife able to show that, hey, he can still keep the aggression. It's still very strong for him. He was able to do that the entire time, starting with the Marine drop, then to Banshees, consistently until he got mutas out, which is pretty far in tech. Finally, the mutas came out, and he's like, all right, mutas, let me just go ahead and get 10 million Marines. He got that, made one push, huge swoop, took the game, very decisive for Stalife, and he's going to take the victory 2-1, and I do believe we're going to go directly into an interview with Stalife. He is on Skype chat. Let's go ahead and get into that.
All right, so we've got Stalife on the phone. Stalife, you just won 2-1 over Evil Genius's Machine. Hey, that's a rad shirt you're wearing, by the way, buddy.
Thank you.
And it looks like the camera's going to come in and out, but it is what it is. Tell me how you feel, buddy. You just won 2-1.
Oh, man, I was just fist pumping, like, after the game, like, yes. And, I was so happy because when I was pushing in my third game, my heart was pounding like crazy. It's just like one of those feelings when you get, like, when you just play a really good opponent and you feel like you have a fighting chance and you're actually winning. And, yeah, it's just so great.
Well, you did a really good job. Evil Genius Machine, he does have a pretty good ZVT, and actually in that last game, he never stood a chance, man. He did an excellent, excellent job. So walk me through kind of the difference between Metalopolis and this last game. You did a cloaked Banshee build in Metalopolis, and you did a non-cloaked Banshee build on Crevasse. What's the difference? Is there a read for you, or is it kind of situational, or is it preference?
Game 2, it was a really prepared build. I was practicing it like all week actually against my teammates Cole Rise and Cole Powers there. But Game 3, I didn't really practice because I know that Machine's such a great macro player that if it gets to Crevasse, and it's a really macro-oriented map, so I thought I wouldn't stand a chance against Machine. But on Crevasse, I used that mind game against him, like using that second game as a leverage. Making him think that I'm going cloak Banshees and then overcommitting to like defense, like spore crawlers, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And that just set him back behind in the macro game.
Well, nice job, buddy. It sounds like Complexity's really rallying around you and helping you train for this. I know you, alongside Cruncher, have a lot of promise, and you guys have you're actually both successful in your first few matches in NASL week number 1. So, do you know who you play for week number 2?
Oh yeah, I'm playing against a Korean guy, ST Ace.
Oh, okay, some guy named ST Ace now.
Oh yeah.
Ace actually just got done slaying a very, very good player in Liquid Red. How are you going to prepare for such a strong Protoss player?
You know what? I think he doesn't really have an edge against me because we are playing on the NA server. This is my home turf. So I think I actually have an edge against him. And I myself am a Korean, so I don't think there's any genetic disadvantage going into the game.
You guys are eating the same soup then, right?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
No difference.
Kimchi.
All right. So it's safe to say that you are confident then against StarTale Ace.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I'm more confident against MC.
Oh, wow. You got some words for MC for us, buddy?
He probably doesn't know who I am, but he'll know after the games.
All right. Okay. Well, strong words from Complexity Stalife, and I'll tell you what. Right now, buddy, it's totally fine for you to make these claims because you are a winner today, and congrats. It's week number 1, but this is the best way to start off the tournament. Congrats to you, and thanks a lot for the interview, buddy.
Thank you very much.
All right. We'll see you later.
See you.
All right. So, Stalife. What a manner bear, saving all his coughs for when he thought he was done with the interview. I like the confidence, though. He actually called out both the Koreans in the division, StarTale Ace and OGS MC, and said, you know what? They got to play on my home turf. I'm confident against them.